Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of How Not to Adventure. I am Rob / Bobby / whatever I'm called these days. I play Dalton Sebastian Belvedere Grey. I'm a paladin, asshole, nobleman who thinks he's better than everyone because he is. He's dashingly handsome and equally incompetent. I'm joined by Josh, who is playing Brother Malk, a fedora-wearing monk who gets attacked by bees. Nagash Galthran is played by Doug, who is a necromancer who's also incompetent. There's a theme here. Our DM is Chris, and he is going to give us all a lovely update on what was going on. Chris, what happened on the last episode?
Well, as far as incompetence goes, we had a menagerie of examples last week. Was it last week? I think it was last week.
Maybe the week before.
Possibly the week before.
Who knows?
Not me. With the exception of Dalton, who managed to spear someone to a cart using his mighty broad sword with a natural 20, which was quite good. We had...
I'm the hero they deserve.
Yeah,
and most
not the one they
definitely
need. Oh yeah, definitely need. Brother Malk succeeded in setting a tent on fire, rather uselessly. To be fair, Nagash did get quite a few kills. He managed to kill a few fellas that were stood next to a fire by setting them on fire.
Oh yes, there was quite an ongoing
theme
attempt at. There were some memorable turns, but mostly memorable because they were awful.
There was.
I mean, Malk spent probably 30 minutes real time fucking around
on one turn, on 1 6-second turn.
Although
damn, I'd forgotten that.
I am.
I was in the episode. I feel like if I didn't do that, I would have been fully forgotten.
I am out of oil now, so
that's an awful shame.
Yeah,
have to go back to the shop.
I can't even remember what the shop was called.
Let's never return.
I mean, I totally wrote that down. I totally wrote that down.
Honestly, you could tell me any shop name and I'll believe you at this point. Also, just as my weekly recap, Jim Speckler must die. It will become apparent throughout, I'm sure. But fuck Jim Speckler. Okay, so we find ourselves in a camp where we spent the last 2 hours of gameplay last week, achieving nothing. We were aiming for a waterfall originally, but we never got there.
Well, I mean, you are in the waterfall camp, so essentially, I'll introduce where you are at the moment. So,
thank you.
As you were last week, you found a small camp that was filled with sort of bruisers, brutes, dock workers, all sorts of unsavory folk, shifting carts and supplies from one wagon to another wagon. They were sort of coming in from all directions, and most of them seemed to be leaving all in the same direction. Most of the tents that were set up were, rather than sleeping tents, most of them seemed to be storage. And the entire camp is set up next to a large waterfall and the sort of pool that sits at the base of the waterfall. In the entirety of the camp, you've managed to slaughter the entirety of the population.
Didn't mean to be fair. I wanted to sneak in, but
huzzah!
A great
success. The plan was originally to sneak in, and what actually happened was a slaughter. As seems to be the common way with this group. Not gonna lie,
we're not the subtlest of adventurers.
Clearly.
I mean, I do have a 0 stealth modifier, so
yes, you're all pretty awful at hiding.
Well,
mine's
anyway,
-1.
Now that we've recapped how shit we are, let's crack on.
So, as I mentioned, you are in this now, like, deserted, I suppose, camp, as you have recently removed all their occupants. What would you like to do, fellas?
Did we get any fat loot last time?
No, because if I remember correctly, last time we finished pretty much as the combat finished, as we'd already overcarried the time.
We killed some guy with a clipboard, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
You did kill a guy with a clipboard, although it was essentially just a bandit captain.
yeah. He had a nice clipboard though. Can I see how much that clipboard's?
I mean, a few copper.
Oh, Malk, take this, I say, and I pass it to him. Oh, Malk, by the way, what's your hit points looking like?
Well, they're not great.
Because I seem to recall you didn't die, but you were knocked unconscious
I survived.
for like the 8th time this campaign.
3rd time. But, yeah, you know. But hanging in there, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm on 0 health.
Yeah, you are.
Now, that's why I was asking, did we rest?
Now, I know for a fact we didn't rest, but I would like to
No,
start...
you have not rested.
I would like to start this... I think we should have a rest. I feel like it's totally normal for a group to have a quick rest when one of them nearly dies.
Okay, would you like to have a long or short rest?
To be honest, I think it's probably best we have a long rest, but...
Oh, no. We'll have a short rest. You know, we don't want to fall asleep at a camp where we've just had complete destruction for a long period of time.
Okay.
I mean, that's not a bad shout. If you do have a long rest in an enemy camp, there's always the possibility that more will turn up.
All right, we'll have a short rest. I will roll
Sleep with one eye open.
a D.
Essentially, for a short rest, you're just kind of chilling out in the area, not necessarily sleeping. It's just kind of having a bit of a break, maybe taking on some food and water, have a sit down, that sort of thing.
I will roll a D10 to heal. There we go. 8. That maxes me back out.
Did I take any damage? I can't really remember. I didn't seem to have written it down if I did.
I don't think you were ever in the fight, to be fair. No, you were. You got shot twice with a crossbow.
Oh, yeah. But I think because I was regaining HP from my, life suck thing, maybe I don't know. Maybe
Essentially. Oh yeah, Doug, your mic is like atrocious.
Yeah, whatever clicking you're doing or bashing, like rubbing it against your beard, I don't know what you're doing, but...
Stop it. Get some help.
Is it still doing it?
No,
Nope.
it stops. Good. Fantastic. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. Okay, so short rest. Everyone heals. Josh, do you want to roll to heal?
Yeah. Just one sec.
And,
I guess I'll just roll anyway.
I mean, you don't have to roll if you don't want to. Are you at full health anyway?
Well, that's the thing. I can't remember.
Excellent.
7.
Well, I definitely am now. So
And a 5.
Kidding me. Absolutely kidding me.
Well, what was your... I mean, that's not bad. That's better than like halfway.
2d8, mate.
Oh, you rolled 2D. Okay,
Alright.
fair enough.
So it's for you, buddy.
I could in theory heal you.
Nah, wait till I get to some real risky health, then we'll do that.
Okay, cool.
Like 0.5 or something.
Assuming no one's going to attack us while we're having a quick rest, I'm assuming I've made a bacon sandwich as well. I've tucked into that. I've got ketchup all over my face. I'm wiping it off with a really posh, fancy napkin, which I then realise is the letter that I'm meant to be delivering to Birmingham. Disaster.
Which is never happening.
I put it away, hoping to remember to clean it later. I would like to go and inspect this. Well, assuming... Shall I do a quick loot? Can I do a generic loot to see if I can find any coppers on anyone? Like, to be fast about it? From all the corpses?
I mean, you could do, or you could just like have a bit of a look around when everyone is ready to go.
Well,
Or if you're specifically looting the corpses, then yes, yeah, you can.
All right, I'm looting corpses. Bam. Never mind.
I mean, it's not like they're going to fight back.
I attempt to intimidate the corpses into giving me their gold.
Bear with me a second.
That's 22 with my +4. All the corpses put their hands up with their gold trinkets in it, and I'm suddenly rich.
So, hang on a second. Okay, so you wander around, rifle through pockets, and you find about 30 gold.
Hey, 30 gold. 30 gold. Suddenly rich.
can I have a quick look at this clipboard?
Yes, if you'd like to.
I get my magnifying glass out.
I mean,
11. Oh no, the magnifying glass gives me advantage. So,
That crafty magnifying glass.
so you have a read of the clipboard with your magnifying glass that really does like nothing because it's not written in microscopic or just even small print. It's pretty big, almost handwriting, really.
yeah,
No.
but I can tell, the paper was made and, where the ink came from. And
I mean, this isn't fucking CSI.
Zoom and
You can't
enhance.
zoom in enhance, Doug.
You see a reflection of one of the drops of ink, and you see a bad guy behind you. Like,
Yeah.
And in his eye, you can see a reflection of the murder weapon
yeah.
and
Yeah.
the street that it was done on. No, so you have a bit of a gander, a bit of a inspection of the clipboard, and it looks pretty obviously to be a sort of inventory style clipboard. It marks off a number of towns, or well, I say towns. It marks off a number of named locations, names to come at some point, I'm sure, because they're not really important at the moment. And one of the ones that does strike out to you is one of the details that seems to stand out is that there's one column that has lots of incomings, all from different regions, and then a second column that is all outgoings to a single region. And having read through, and a lot of it's in sort of a local jargon rather than real, like, easy to read chat. You kind of make the assumption, you realize that the outgoings seem to be going to Greenroot.
I see.
Mm.
Well, that can only mean one thing.
Goddamn Jim
monster.
Speckler, fucking prick, Jim Speckler.
I put the parchment in
Mhm.
my pocket.
Okay.
Whoa, is that your parchment, or are you just happy to see me?
It's the parchment.
You just saw me put the parchment in my pocket.
I mean, he is a skeleton. He hasn't got a bone.
Well,
He's got 216.
so gang, looks like there's a mystery on our hands.
To the mystery machine, I shout.
After seven fucking weeks, you've only just realised there's a mystery at hand. Good God.
Nagash lights his pipe.
The mystery that I've been hinting at the whole time we've been playing.
You've hinted at nothing.
The mystery that you're halfway through solving anyway.
Wait, you're lighting a pipe? Does that mean this entire time you've had a source which can make flame?
He just clicks his fingers together. It's the friction of his bones.
Yeah. I mean, my magnifying glass can...
I can just imagine you now, Doug, like some hipster is going to be out in the middle of a forest with a pipe and a magnifying glass trying to light
3
it
hours.
That's all he's been
on
doing
an
on a
overcast
short
day.
rest.
That'd be the best bit. He's doing it on overcast days. He doesn't realise.
Well, as fascinating as this spreadsheet is, I would like to amble knee deep into the water.
Okay.
Just to see if there's a chest or anything.
I mean,
He
you
says,
amble.
definitely not eating cake and ice cream.
Motherfucker.
Definitely
Where's
haven't just
mine?
been brought some cake and ice cream.
Motherfucker.
And ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
That's mad.
I know, right?
Madman. Where's the jelly?
I'm not a fucking 5-year-old, mate.
What the fuck are you talking about? Jelly is universal. It is ageless.
That's not true.
Clearly, you just haven't had jelly since you were a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And your parents just told you that anyone over the age of 5 doesn't have jelly.
And they'd be right.
You're an adult, Rob. You're an adult. You can eat what you want.
I know, and I'm
Go and
making
get some jelly, Rob.
I'm making the choice not to eat children's jelly like some weird, creepy man at a kid's party. Chris. Anyway, I wade knee deep into the
You
waterfall
disgust me.
to gander about to see if there's a chest or anything, maybe with some fat loot in it. And I roll a solid 16 to do so.
Okay, so you wander out into
you
the
get
water.
wet shoes.
Yeah, your boots fill with water and possibly eels.
Oh no, not eels.
You get bitten by leeches because this is the jungle, and you've just walked out into standing water.
Oh,
Congratulations, you have malaria.
Shit.
So yeah, you kind of waddle out into the water as is tradition, and as you're coming around, you sort of notice that the pool's relatively shallow. Like you could go all the way to the waterfall without ever really having to get over waist deep. However, as you get close to the waterfall, you can see a strange shadow behind the waterfall that wasn't obvious from before.
What does a shadow look like? Is it humanoid? Or
It's just
alteroid, as in the shape of an altar? Or
an altar,
yeah, I don't know.
as in like a Christian altar or something. No, it's just kind of like a large, darker patch behind the waterfall. You can't really make out what it is. Doesn't seem to be moving. You may just have to investigate.
Looks like there's nothing here, boys.
Me and
Surprise! It was a beholder. There's your cliffhanger.
me and the 16 eels in my boots wade forward.
Hang
Hey.
on. Did we
Yes.
ever open any of these crates?
No.
Oh.
You made it very clear last time when Josh was trying to open all the crates for 20 minutes
True.
that
This is
all
true.
of them were heavily bolted shut and would not be opened at any point in time.
I mean, I made it clear that it would take longer than 6 seconds to open a nailed shut crate.
I mean, that's fair.
What if we all try and open it at the same time?
Boys, I've already got
I
wet
mean-
feet. What are you doing in there? Come on in.
You've got a guy who can like make fire massive. You've also got a fella with a mace and a sword. I'm pretty sure you can open a wooden crate.
I wouldn't open a wooden
Just
crate
not in
with
6
fire.
seconds.
That's a
Don't make
terrible
with your
idea.
bare hand.
No. We can't. We're not. I'm going to have to call you out on this. You can't set fire to the crate in order to get to the goods inside. That's a straight fire way to get, pun intended, to get the fucking goods ruined. You're gonna have no loot
Well, I
left.
mean, he doesn't just he doesn't set things on fire, does he? He controls fire, so he
Oh.
can turn the fire off.
did this
when it's
did this
burnt a bit of the
have
crate.
a genuine original Picasso in it? Well, it did, but it's a fucking pile of ash now. You cretin.
It's a Picasso. Oh, now. Yeah.
I'm kicking Josh from the Discord.
Well, I've just spent 3 hours trying to light this pipe, so I'm good for the moment.
When you go fucking hold your magnifying glass over the crate, see if that works.
Does this work? No, seriously, I'm just standing like knee deep in the water going, what are you doing? There's a
Yeah,
shadow
pretty
over
much.
there. Come on.
Malk,
So,
why don't
are
you
we
try
going
opening
to-
one of these crates?
Oh, for fuck's sake, and I just face palm. You're gonna try.
Okay, so you're going to try opening one of the
I
crates.
will stand there getting pneumonia.
Okay, so how are you going to try opening a crate, Doug?
We've already ruled out fire. I think that was
I
quite
was-
conclusive.
Hang on, I was suggesting to Malk that he do it.
Yeah,
okay.
I can give it a good old whirl.
I'm busy
with my
smoking a pipe.
feisty muscles.
Because that like counteracts your ability to open a crate. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Brother Malk, how are you going to open up the crate?
With my hands, doofus. Aha! No.
You're just going to punch through the top.
I am. Yes, actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to punch through the top.
Okay, do me a strength check.
All right. Yeah. Oh,
Please roll a 1. This would make my day.
Nagash's eyes brighten. waiting to see what happens.
I've got a lot of faith in this. Here we go.
Oh,
So
dear.
you wind up good and hard, good and proper,
Yeah.
and slam your fist down into the crate, and you
Oh.
break a knuckle as you punch the solid wood. Yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Can I try again?
Yeah, if you want to.
I'm going to allow this.
Yeah.
Can I try with my other hand? And I'll take what's its name?
Sorry, you're trying to take disadvantage.
I will
Using
take
your-
disadvantage and use my left hand.
Okay. I mean, it would be disadvantaged with your hand because your knuckle's broken.
Oh yeah!
Wow, an unnatural 20 to see you through. Fair play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame the other one didn't get through because that was nearly a 20. That was nearly a natural 20 anyway. So, with your disadvantaged, weaker, slightly rotten left hand, you punch through the wood and essentially just make a big ass hole in a crate. Do you want to try like pulling bits off as you bring your hand out, or are you going to have your hand stuck? It's up to you.
I'll pull my hand out. Would I? Can I feel anything immediately as I put my fist in? Like, does it matter? Like, does the object?
Full of
I know, that sounded
bees.
so bad.
Thousands
what
of
do I
bees
feel
come flying out of the
straight away?
crates. You feel lots of stings. No, as your hand goes through the wood, you are almost immediately met by something quite a lot harder than the wood. But luckily, your hand kind of stops just as it makes impact, rather than really like smashing into it.
So can I just easily pull my hand out and be able to see what's inside? God, if I only had a magnifying glass.
Some form of light, like a torch. Yes, yeah. If you pull your hand out, you can see. You could partially see into the crate. Obviously, at the minute, it's kind of just bits of wood crushed on top of the crate. So you could pull things out of the way to get a better view.
Yeah, I'll pull some things out of the way, and I'll also call over Brother Malk. No, Brother Malk, that's me. You know, that's me. I will
Hey,
Are you
buddy,
schizophrenic,
over
Brother Malk?
here.
call over Nagash because he will probably be able to see better if this is a dark crate, and he can
He hasn't got dark vision.
provide light. Don't need dark vision when fire is a click of his fingers.
It's not really though. I walk over. I put my face near the hole and take a big drag on the pipe so the glow of the tobacco.
Right.
And those thousands of
and
bees that have been
I've got
waiting
my
inside.
magnifying glass in the other hand, obviously.
So, as you peer into the crate, you see the glint of metal coming back at you. It's kind of dull. It's not exactly shiny, but you can definitely see that it's metallic. It looks like, with your like inquisitive look, inquisitive eyes, I suppose. But they mostly appear to be tubes of some description, metallic tubes.
Is the hole big enough to like remove one?
You'd probably have to like pull the wood and open up the top a bit more to actually get one out.
Do that.
Okay. So you pull away a fair piece of some of the fractured pieces of wood, and it reveals that they are indeed tubes of steel. They don't look to be of the finest quality, but they're serviceable.
Well done,
They're
boys.
all the same length.
You've broken into a box of scaffolding.
They're all the same length, and would you, Doug, take a perception check for me?
Sure. It's a 16.
Okay. So, as you inspect the tube in your hands, rolling it over back and forth, having a look around, you notice that there are inscriptions along the inside of the tube in a coil that run all the way down to the bottom. And you recognize these inscriptions. They look very similar to some runes that you've encountered before in the past.
I encounter some runes.
I mean, there was a whole episode where you were trying to find out about runes.
There were the two types
yeah.
of runes or designs.
Okay. I take a really good look down the magnifying glass with a 19.
Okay. So you...
For our viewers and Doug, could you remind Nagash what he's looking at? Because his character's meant to remember, but quite clearly he doesn't.
Yes. So...
Well, I'm assuming there's some sort of kobold jazz in there.
That's pretty much exactly what it is. So you happen to peer down the this tube, and the pattern, the spiraling pattern that goes all the way to the bottom, is essentially a long line of kobold runes. To some extent, it almost seems like it's some sort of incantation, or like almost like a bound spell.
I do a quick Arcana check. 16.
Okay. So you're not familiar with with what the spell is, because obviously you don't actually know kobold runes. You just recognize that they are kobold runes. But the way that they're sort of laid out and serialized, it almost looks like some form of rifling.
Well, I picked my pipe back up, putting the tube down.
Okay.
I'm going to have a quick puff whilst looking wistfully into the distance. And putting two and two together in my mind, I reckon these are to do with the weapon that Dalton has.
Well, you wouldn't be far wrong. The only main difference is these ones are significantly larger than the one that is attached to the end of Dalton's mighty pole. Yes, they're significantly larger. Where his is maybe around an inch wide. These ones are around 6 inches across the end of the barrel.
Crikey,
Yeah, it's like a Coke can.
Nagash says.
A squashed Coke can.
Crikey.
Dalton, come and look at these.
No, I've already got wet shoes. Not coming back in. Bring me one.
Fine, I take one over to you. I put my pipe away for the time being.
Aha.
Okay.
I have tricked Nagash into walking into the water to come to me. Now
Damn it.
You do have wet shoes. Now I am not the only wet shoes bozo.
The eels look at Nagash sadly from their watery prison.
So obviously I know how the smaller version of the actual gun works. So I'm hoping that after a very quick inspection, I'll be able to. I mean, just to see if it's the same fucking thing. Basically, bam.
Well, I mean, I just explain what I think it is.
Yes.
In the interest of time.
Yes, and like I say, you weren't far wrong. They do appear to be more or less the same thing. And a quick glance down the barrel of your own war pole, Andy,
I like it.
reveals those same runes carved into the steel. Again, the only difference being yours is significantly smaller. However, as you can we get off the fucking? Can we get out of the gutter for 30 seconds? I promise. When the episode's over, you can laugh as much as you want.
Malk, quickly punch through all of these other crates to see if they're the same.
Can I roll for that?
Please don't make a roll. For
I'll let you roll for every tent. How about that?
All
You
right.
just assume that you figure out a better way to do it.
Considering these are larger, are they still to be wielded by the one man?
Well, as you looking at the pipe that you've got, it appears to be incomplete. It is essentially just a tube. There's nothing else attached to it.
The one Nagash has just given.
The one that you've got in your hand, yes.
Oh, it's incomplete, I say. Maybe no, and surely there's the rest of it's gonna be here.
Quick
Yeah,
Malk.
maybe.
Quick,
I mean-
continue.
Quick Malk.
How many tents are
Just figuring that out.
there? I've got a copy paste ready for this.
Okay, there are 4 tents.
4 tents.
Yeah.
Can I have a number so I know what I'm going for?
We'll number them 1 to 4.
No. I mean like a number,
Oh.
a threshold number I need to open a box.
No,
Oh man.
I'll tell you whether you succeed or fail.
Right. I'm just gonna quick fire it out. Bam, 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 bam.
Pass,
All
fail,
right,
pass,
I'll take that.
pass.
Pretty good.
Yeah. So the first
My hand
one,
is very sore right now. Very.
you've got another broken knuckle. So the first one was essentially a crate in the same room, in the same tent you've already been in, and it is more tubes. I say the first tent that you were in, the one that you opened up the first time. Every single crate within this particular tent appears to be tubes. There are 5 tubes per crate, and there are 10 crates in the tent. The second one, obviously, you fail to get through any of the boxes, and you just kind of hobble out, shaking your fist and crying because your hand hurts.
But then, like a madman, you go
Different
back
type
for
of wood.
more.
Yeah, different type of wood. Maybe it's they're not actually made of wood. They might be reinforced with steel of some description. You walk into the next tent, and instead of punching, you angrily kick and break your way into the crates. And in each of the crates in here, there appears to be like a wooden substructure. Looks like it all fits together. You're not entirely sure what that substructure is, but it seems quite simple. Excuse me.
Cough break.
Yeah. Or coffee break. Ooh. And you feel like it wouldn't take you very long to figure out what this sub build is. If you tried putting it together, for instance. The last one you break into, these ones are a little bit more worrying than the rest. As you break open the crates, there's very large bags in each of them. And in each of these bags, there are dozens of glowing blue stones, each of them
Ooh.
carved into a sphere.
Ah, ammunition.
Ah, magic.
Yeah.
Juice.
Magic ammunition.
And these stones are significantly larger than the ones you found before. They're about, well, as I said earlier, obviously the one that Dalton's got is only an inch wide. These stones are 6 inches wide,
So,
or 6 inches spherical.
to clarify,
Nagash says.
so
Mm-hmm.
these are kobold weapons, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
That have been the blue magic juice. It has been collected, no doubt, from the original mine that was ransacked, taken over, and now these weapons are in the possession of humans, most likely under the command of one Jimothy Speckler.
I mean that's a pretty good theory you got going there.
Oh, I think it's more than the theory, and I'm more than happy to go and shout it like a crazy person in the mayor's office. Like, hey, you! I'll shout. This bozo's a bozo. And that'll be really convincing.
But do we think they're stealing these from kobolds, or the kobolds are manufacturing them for the humans?
Maybe Jim Speckler's a kobold in disguise.
Dun dun dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, I suppose that's what we're going to need to figure out. Who's going to be using these weapons? Or has the trade already happened to go into human arms?
Well, I mean, you'd have to find out next week. No, I'm checking.
Can we attempt to... I will finally leave the river if I need. Can we put it together then? All of it in one?
Yeah, if someone wants to try the second tent again, that would be...
I'll try the second tent.
Yeah, good luck.
Mighty +2 that I won't type in because I'm lazy. No, never mind. Don't need to.
I mean, you didn't put roll, you just put D20.
No, that's a hashtag D20 because I've got it in.
Okay.
I've got it in my auto. Chat
So yeah,
box.
you essentially you wander into one of the tents and just kind of flick a crate, and it opens as if
Flick my
as if
finger.
it was never like closed in the first place.
Malk's like, I loosened it.
On a little spring lock. And inside the crate, you can see dozens of. Well, they almost appear to be the mechanism that sits at the back of your wall pole, kind of like a rudimentary trigger of some description.
Nice. So, using my already gained knowledge of this, can I put it together?
You can try.
I
I
will
will-
try.
I will give you 3 attempts. I won't tell you how hard it's going to be yet, but
Will I have any pluses? Such as
I will give you
or persuasion,
a.
intimidation,
no, if-
insights, surely, right?
Yes,
Got
yeah.
+2 on insight. That's wisdom. That makes sense. Okay, I'll D20 +2. Bam. 12.
Okay, try again. And again.
18.
Excellent. So after a couple of attempts where you kind of sit looking at the assembled thing, or well, I say assembled, looking at the gathering of products, you scratch your head and get Doug's pipe out and have a bit of a smoke and think, and eventually you manage to find all the little like cogs and bells and whistles and fix everything together. Although there is that one extra screw that the instruction manual doesn't seem to have written on it,
Fucking
and you
IKEA.
curse IKEA.
God damn it.
Yeah, also there's an instruction manual, but
No wonder it was so easy.
and you end up with essentially the little sub build that Brother Malk found in the third tent, coalesced into a sort of a rudimentary base. The tube and mechanism fitted together and sat on top of that base. and it appears to be almost akin to a field cannon of some description.
So it's definitely not a one-man machine. It might be fired
Definitely
by
not
one man, but it's got a crew, most likely.
Well, I mean, we're talking
Operating it.
about a piece of rock that is 6 inches across.
I mean, it sounds likely that an assault on a nearby city, Birmingham, is likely to take place soon. Greenroot, obviously, is the actual place I'm talking about. And thus, Jim Speckler must be held to account. The swine. How many of these weapons were there?
2 seconds. Okay, so I'm just looking up how much it would actually weigh.
Just looking at my notes, at some point I wrote down sneezing blue fire.
Yeah, I think
I don't know why.
I think that was me taking the piss out of you a while back.
Okay.
Can I put a couple of these magic balls in my...
What did you...
Well, if I remember correctly, you tried that with one of the pieces of ammunition and discovered that they didn't actually help you.
Oh, not like the raw ore did.
No, they'd been refined.
Oh, damn it.
Unfortunately, sorry, Doug.
I toss it on the ground.
So each of the like balls, each of the bits of ammunition weighs 260 grams.
60.
Which I suppose isn't all that heavy, to be fair.
Depends on how
mean,
fast that's traveling.
I suppose I could do. Let's see, how much is that weigh? Oh, that's the website I just used. Oh, that's a bit better. Okay, so they're going to weigh 1 kilo each.
1 kilo each. And how many field guns do I estimate there are here that can be built up?
Well, you did find the 5. What was it? 5 crates? No, 10 crates of tubes with 5 tubes each.
50. Maths? No one's doubting me, so I'm...
The question is, what do we do with these weapons?
Oh, that is the question, isn't it?
Well,
And
At some point,
Douglas, would you? Oh, I can't really say memory, can I? Perception, I suppose. Again.
12.
Yeah. So you think back a little bit, and you remember that on the order form or the what was it called? Clipboard that you saw earlier. This wasn't the first delivery.
So whoever it is stockpiling an awful lot of weapons.
Indeed, they are. And this is also, I mean, obviously we haven't explored the others yet, but this is only the first of the 3 locations.
the 3 sorry, I know you said this previously, but based on where Greenroot is, where do the locations triangulate around it? Question.
Sort of. So you've got Greenroot, which is on the coast.
Yeah.
And then essentially everything, if you imagine Greenroot is like the westernmost point on the coast, and then everything east of it is just jungle. As far as you can travel in a fair while, everything east of it is jungle.
Yeah.
You can see mountains off in the distance, but like it would take going through this particular like density with no roads, it would take months to get there. The 3 locations that you've been given on the map, they're more or less. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'd said the last time last time we discussed the 3 locations, they're at the compass points around the around Greenroot. There's one to the northeast, one to the east, one to the southeast.
Yeah, you did.
So basically, stuff's coming here to the 3 locations probably, and then from the 3 locations to Greenroot.
Well, I mean, as I say, you don't know what the other 2 locations do.
That's true.
Okay, so the question is that we need to find out. These encampments of weapons, are they going to be coming back towards the coast for Salt Green? Or are they actually part of an expedition going further east?
Well, I mean, you'd have to,
the clipboards seem to suggest that this stuff was going to Greenroot, like into Greenroot.
Hmm.
Am I right in that?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Shall we have a look behind this waterfall then?
Yeah, I walk back in.
I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Probably should have done that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
We do
whilst
that.
you were cool. So you head into the waterfall, and behind it there is sort of a carving area. So you find nothing. Thanks, Dalton.
I think I fell over in the water before I got there. I almost drowned.
And drown.
I like to think
What did you roll for?
Wrinkles.
I rolled for. I wanted to fall over, but I rolled a critical 1 to miss, so I actually stayed standing up naturally. So
Okay.
turns out I'm fine.
So you
Smooth.
you wander in behind the waterfall, and as you head in, it's kind of like a small hollow has been carved out, kind of like what are they called? Little gaps in the sides of churches that you can just go and chill out in, where you're
Alcoves?
not really in alcove. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Welcome.
My vocabulary has taken a turn for the worse these last few days. In this wee alcove, there is indeed a small chest. It's got quite a fancy lock on it, and it appears to be protected against the water. The water, even though it's splashing all around you, just appears to run off the chest as if it wasn't like even touching it.
Ooh. I mean, even a halfway like Malk can see that that's magic. So
I whip out the magnifying glass.
I
A 22. Oh, no, wait, I have advantage. 22.
Okay, what are you inspecting specifically? You look at the rock.
chest. Actually, no. I do an Arcana check.
Okay. Is that including your? Is that what the check is? Your advantage check with your magnifying glass.
Ignore the advantage. Let's
Okay.
just say I got the first one.
Okay.
22.
So you do an Arcana check on the chest. It essentially appears to be a relatively mundane chest. There's not really any like specific special magics on the chest itself, with the exception of like a simple charm just to keep it from letting it rust or rot away. Literally, as I said, it's just protecting it from the water. It kind of, from what you've seen around the area, both in this camp and at Greenroot itself, it seems to be a semi-regular charm that's put onto the local equipment to keep it from degrading in the harsh environments of the jungle.
I see.
Okay. Anything else?
Malk, try and open it.
Just because I've succeeded 70% ish of my
Break them knuckles, buddy. Break them
opening
knuckles.
boxes.
I didn't say punch it. I said
I'm gonna punch it and open it.
okay.
Okey-dokey.
Just what I wanted.
I mean, this wee chest is a bit more solid than the crate.
Right.
Um,
I want me and
and you've
Dalton
just managed
punch
to,
it
like,
at the same time.
hit the lock.
Dalton.
Sorry, what?
I mean, there is a guy in the group that has a fucking mace. Cough,
Oh,
cough.
Yeah, but brute force. That's definitely going to get through it. Just punch it.
Right, I whip out my mace and I clobber it straight onto it. Straight onto that lock. Which is a d20 plus 4, which is 21.
Okay, so you casually break the lock with a nice swing of your mace.
Meanwhile, Malk stands there, like, shaking his hand, going, owies.
My hand. And inside, you find a couple of what appear to be documents.
Documents,
Yeah.
my favourite.
Yeah, documents. Oh, dang. A spell scroll of locate object. And you find yourself 2 potions of healing.
Yeah.
I'll have one of those.
Nice. I'll have one of those. No, you fucking won't.
I
And
tell you what, I will give you one of them.
don't do it. And you find it just appears to be kind of a small rod made of wood. Anyone's more than welcome to pick it up.
Is it a divining rod to find water? Because we're already in a fucking waterfall, so that's not very helpful.
I mean, it's about an inch and a half across, like inch and a half wide, and about 12 inches long.
That's a ruler. Described a ruler.
It's also round,
A rolling pin.
more or less.
Can I...
Does someone want to try?
I mean, I don't just want to pick it up, to be honest. I'd rather do an Arcana check first.
I do that.
You do
10.
I mean-
also do that.
There doesn't appear to be anything malicious about this rod.
I pick up the rod.
Cool. You pick it up and you die.
Okay,
Um,
bye everyone. Enjoy the stream
no,
without me. I'll go
you,
back in
you-
character.
Come back as
You pick up the rod, and as you inspect it, you find a small button on the side that, as you press, the rod extends in either direction and becomes a quarterstaff. This is a +1 quarterstaff that can be folded down and compacted.
That's amazing. I'll take 10.
I mean,
Yeah, that's brilliant. Cool. I'm gonna pop it in my pocket for now.
there is someone in the group that could probably use that as a pretty good weapon. Cough.
Yeah, you say that, but I can't think of anyone. So maybe they should speak up. He says, looking directly at the.
Maybe he wasn't fucking listening to what it was.
I found this
Stop.
extendable quarterstaff. I repeat. Who would like it?
I thought you said water staff.
Isn't RuneScape?
God damn it.
I'll have it.
Sure. I toss it at Mal.
Yeah.
There you go. Yours now, mate.
I'm not going to use it because I've got Fists of Fury, but I would like to identify its stats.
It's a +1 quarterstaff.
Oh.
As in, it is a quarterstaff that gives you +1 to hit and +1 damage.
Yeah. See, I've already got. All right. I'll have that. I still really was expecting it to be a water staff. I was like, what's a water staff going to do?
Excellent. Okay.
Can I have the spell scroll?
Yes.
I want one of those potions as well. I don't know if you gave it to me already.
Yeah, I did. I gave it to you.
Alright.
Right. Cool. Shall we? We should probably go to another place of interest, really, shouldn't we? Just to confirm theories. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah? No, yeah. How long is it going to take to travel to one of them?
It'd probably take you. I mean, judging from the distance that you travelled last time, you think it'd be like a day and night's journey.
Would it be possible? Okay, so we've got waterfall, cave, and clearing. Those are options. We've done the waterfall. We've got the cave and the clearing to go. Would it be possible for us as a group to carry one of the field guns? If we broke it back down?
If each of you took like one of the main components, so the tube, the mechanism, and the base, it's possible. I'm going to limit you to a round of ammunition each, just because it's relatively heavy.
Okay, 3 rounds. That might come in handy later. Doug, do you have a handy magic bag or anything that can be a bit of a TARDIS for situation as a loophole, or are you just to me?
No.
Useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
What was the spell scroll again, Chris?
Oh, bugger. It was a scroll of locate object.
So, I mean, are we going to just leave all of this other stuff here? Or maybe we should set it all on fire? Because that sounds pretty good to me.
I'm
I
fine
think-
with destroying it all.
I think long rest, and we pile it all into a big pile. Other than the bits we want to take. Is that cool?
Up to you guys.
Yeah. I'm fine with that.
So Malk stacks all the crates in a big pile. And I spend a good couple hours trying to set fire to it with a magnifying glass.
God's sakes.
Excellent.
Am I successful? I chuck all the available and everything.
All the available what?
Wood, tents, or maybe leave one tent.
Right. How are you trying to do this with your?
So we've taken one gun's worth of stuff out.
Yeah.
All the other crates we've made into a big pile with all the tables, all the other tents, bar
Right.
one, into a big pile, and I'm trying to set fire to it.
I mean, there is still the fire in the middle of the camp.
Oh yeah.
Just
Well, I
putting that out there.
get some of that and put it on the pile.
Okey-dokey. I mean, you could just throw it on top of the fire, to be honest with you, but that's cool too.
Bit late for that now, Chris.
Yeah, clearly.
And then I sit down, 10 feet away, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and real concentrate control fire to get this bad boy furnace hot. Just sit there all night.
I mean, as you you sit there all night, and as you, I could be a real dick here, like, because you've just lit a massive signal fire.
I mean, the other two are obviously keeping watch for bees.
Fucking bees.
Wouldn't trust me with that.
I clarify that I am not keeping watch. I'm counting my coin purse repeatedly Just for the record, guys, the 30 that I found earlier, like an hour ago, I added that to my existing coin purse, and now I'm left with 69 gold pieces. So
Nice.
I'm feeling pretty smug about that.
Nice. So we've not really. I've not given you a lot of gold this game.
No.
I haven't leveled up much either.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you've had 2 engagements.
What do you mean?
Well, you leveled up after the cave, and that was your first fight. You then fought 2 guys and ran away.
I killed that panther that time, though.
I killed some
You
bees.
fought a couple swarms of bees, and now you've just killed some guys at a camp. Like,
So to clarify, we're level 10. Right? Is that roughly?
clarify, you're level fucking 2. Get over it.
Ah, you're mean.
I am mean.
Right,
So,
so
Nagash
Nagash has lit a signal fire. Instead of us,
Yeah, to let
which I guess
everyone in the area
destroying
know.
all the stuff makes sense. I assume that's what you were having a week.
Mhm.
Yes.
However,
Bar 1 cannon and 1 tent.
which we're keeping for our journey because we need to head off to another landmark to see what's going on.
Yeah, and which landmark are you going to aim for? Bear in mind that one of them is significantly further away than the other.
I'd go to the closer one. Which one's that? Clearing?
Okay, the nearest one is the cave.
Well, let's go to the cave then.
Okey-dokey.
I say. Probably quick sharp before everyone and their nan comes to see this signal fire.
Mhm.
Well, I kind of assumed we'd stay overnight.
I mean, you could just, light the fire and take the tent with you and go and sleep in the jungle somewhere.
That's true. But I was sitting here to make the fire hot enough to, actually damage these steel tubes.
Okay, sure. Let's spend another episode entirely in this little clearing and camp.
I mean, we could just skip. We could just say we did that and skip to morning. I mean,
Yeah.
I sit down and watch Doug burn things.
I mean, it took you guys over a day to get here on your own, and that's just 3 of you. Like, I imagine it would take a fair while to get any form of response force to go and see what the massive fire in the middle of the jungle is. And even, in fact, I think it would take even longer to convince someone that it needs to be looked at.
All right, so we spend the night. It's nice and warm. So that's fine. No one's going to get cold here. Meanwhile,
wake up,
I have
Turn and brush,
another
put on
bacon
makeup.
sandwich.
cook up a brekkie, get to work.
Did you say a cup of brekkie?
Cook up a brekkie.
All right.
Have I successfully
You've
probably
you're-
not melted, but
I mean,
Or-
it's pretty much like a pile of slag, warped steel tubes, and like small blue balls that don't actually appear to have taken any damage whatsoever.
damn it. Okay. I stand up and say, let's roll. And put on some
Excellent.
shades.
There's a pair
So,
of shades over his mask.
Significantly weighted down by the addition of a large tent and the components of like a cannon, essentially. You head off into the jungle and head off on your way to the cave. It's a pretty uneventful trip. You almost enjoy it to some extent. You can hear bees in the far distance, but they don't appear to be coming
God.
close. Excuse me. And eventually, you come to the point. You start recognizing. What are you doing?
Huh?
Oh, just writing up what your thing is.
Just to remember.
Okay. So yeah, with you go off to the cave, and as you start seeing like the very obvious landmarks that are on the map that you were given, and notice them like in the world, you realize you're getting close, and as you come across the like a clearing of trees where there is a rather large cave that looks kind of like a rock has reared up out of the earth, and then where the rocks come up. Imagine a tree that's fallen over, a very large tree that's fallen over, and all of its roots have pulled up the earth around it. It's kind of like that, but a massive rock instead of a tree. Almost like a mountain's fallen over, I suppose.
Cool mountain rock, I say.
And as you approach the clearing, you can see a number of what appear to be human guards stationed around the clearing. There's 6 of them, like stationed at points around the clearing. They're about 40 meters apart between each person, and you can hear sounds coming from the inside of the cave. Not entirely sure what they are, but they sound similar to like hammer on steel. Almost like the sounds of industry.
I
We can
deduce
hear
that
industry,
they
but
could
can we
be
hear, like-
making weapons.
Can we hear any like talking at all?
I mean, it's pretty fucking noisy.
Okay.
If you're particularly close to a guard, you might be able to hear him breathe, I suppose.
Shall we drop to the floor again and just lie down?
No, it did work out pretty well last time.
No, let's not do that. I say we pose as inspectors
Okay.
so that they give us a tour of the facility.
This isn't going to go like the fucking Girl Scout cookie moment, I don't think.
Oh, it's going to be better than the Girl Scout cookie. We're all going to pose as inspectors, and it's going to be great. And then, before they know it, we'll know exactly what's going on. Probably have killed them all. Does everybody agree with my plan?
Yeah, sounds like fun.
I feel like it's not the best plan.
Okay, if you can find a couple of criticisms in it, I'll consider them.
Well, I just feel like the whole dropping to the floor and just waiting plan is going to be much more effective.
Yeah, see, I'm going to disagree with you there, because we've done that
And it didn't go so well.
many times, and you died. Actually, now arguably you could say that was a good thing that you died, but personally speaking, I think we should be more proactive in our searches. Can Nagash remember any?
He's gone to the toilet.
Fuck. While we were walking over here, did Nagash tell me, having read the list, any key names of people involved, so that I can?
There wasn't names of people; it was just names of locations.
Shit. So it wasn't signed off by Big
Nope.
John Studd or anything. Okay.
Unfortunately, not.
Okay, I've got a pretty good intimidation of +4, so I reckon this can work. Malk, are you with me?
I'm here. Yeah.
No. As in, are you with the plan? I know you're still in the chat.
Cool. Hang on one sec.
Oh, he's back. So,
Hello?
hey, I was just saying that we should pose as inspectors and waltz straight in there. I've got a pretty solid intimidation of +4. So I reckon we can, instead of like having to slaughter everyone off the bat, I reckon we can mosey about.
Sure.
I've got -2 on persuasion, but I'm willing.
That's always a fun one.
I've got. Yeah.
Nagash, what's your persuasion?
+1, believe it or not.
Yeah, so I've got +4. I've got in performance, in persuasion, +2 in performance. If it goes badly, 4 in intimidation as well.
I've got -2 on all of those.
Right. Okay. New plan. You stay in the woods. In the
I
jungle.
lie on the floor.
You stay in the jungle. Ready. Have you got any ranged weapons?
I mean, me and Malk could hide in the woods, and you could go.
Okay. You have got ranged attacks, so I'm happy with that.
Hang on.
yeah.
I've just realised. Who is it that can't be here next week?
Me.
I mean, you could literally send Dalton in, and me and Rob have a solo episode next week,
Oh jeez.
and he just has to remember everything that's happened. Because if you think about it, if you're not privy to it, you haven't seen it.
That would be the worst. Just sitting there going,
I tell you what to do.
If you want.
Let's just crack on for now.
What do we do for the meantime?
I mean, yeah, I guess we could carry on at the moment.
Well, it's 9:20, so we got.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say
40
like
minutes
let's
of the
stop
reg sketch.
now.
Yeah. Okay, you guys. To go back to my question to Malk though, do you have any ranged attacks?
We have a cannon.
That's actually
I'm
very true. Right.
thinking about it. I got those darts from the shop at the very start.
Oh yeah.
I've got a handful of darts, which I can use from. Says here. I don't know if this is right, but 120 feet.
I feel like you're meant to have a blowgun.
Then
I'm gonna quickly look up darts.
However, you have
They were
just
+4, I
reminded me
think.
that we have a field gun that we've just stolen. So surely we can set that right. Here's the plan: we set up the field gun. Malk will man it. Nagash will be nearby to protect Malk and to also long range attacks. And I will saunter in and persuade them that I am the cave inspector sent to just make sure that everything is running on schedule. Wink. That's what I'll say to them.
Dart is finesse thrown range 20 to 60 feet.
60 feet's fucking far.
I think. What's the? Hang on. Carry on. Talk amongst yourselves.
do I need a blow?
No, it is thrown.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's 60 feet,
Whole
not
new
120.
level of Malk just came out.
I mean,
Master Malk.
I'm pretty sure that Dalton has a ranged weapon as well.
I do have a ranged weapon. Yeah. I have my laser cannon. My mini laser cannon. But I need to be the one in there talking gibberish. Because
True.
otherwise, I could even put on my fine clothes to do it. Oh, this is brilliant. Finally, a chance to use my fine clothes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so what those numbers actually mean is 20 feet is its normal range. Up to 20 feet. You can do it up to 60 feet, but over 20 is disadvantage.
Ah,
So that's
Okay.
considered long range. Just FYI.
Okay.
right.
But 20 feet's still pretty far.
Okay, cool. Right. Just to clarify, everyone's on board with my plan?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
We set up the field gun.
Okay. So
Without them noticing.
I'd like you to roll a stealth check, just to be on the safe side.
All of us.
Yes. One each.
Fuck.
Hmm. I got 14. This is actually -1.
Ah.
Right.
Very loudly set up a gun.
That would have been a 3. Oh god.
Malk and Dalton start arguing.
It's got to face this way.
Did Dalton do his one?
Yeah, mine was.
Yeah, he got
mine-
5.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
between the three of you, you set up the cannon. Malk and Dalton dropping things on their toes, trying to be quiet, and sort of going, pocket, shh, shh. Nagash slapping him over the back of the head, telling him to shut the fuck up. And bear with me a second. I'm going to do my...
Because all I need to do is walk out and introduce myself. And they'll be like, oh, he wasn't trying to be stealthy at all. He's just saying hi.
Okay, so luckily, the nearest guard does not hear you. Aren't you lucky people?
Oh, you deaf twat.
What fucking good guard? What fucking good is a guard that can't hear shit? But yes, you set up the cannon, thankfully without incident. Yeah, that's a thing.
Right.
So,
So,
just to picture the scene, we're in the jungle.
yeah, you're
There's
on
a
the
big-
edge of a clearing.
There's a load of guards around the clearing.
Yep.
There's a fallen over rock with a cave
Mm-hmm.
that forge sounds are coming out of.
Yep.
Is there a path through the jungle into this clearing?
Not really. You can see that there are like definite open, like thinner areas of foliage than others. It's a bit like if you imagine a forest that's not really used very often.
But there's not like a big clear.
No, there's no like made path. There's slightly more like cleared areas than others, where you think that perhaps that like I don't know, potentially wagons come in, and then
So
others that seem to be a bit smaller but appear used.
Is this clearing like an arc the front of the cave, or is it like a circle around this rock?
A circle around it.
Okay.
And
That's-
it doesn't look like it's a natural clearing. It looks like it's been made.
Okay.
You can still see the stumps of some of the trees.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to saunter out to my death.
So did we establish that any of them heard us? Sorry.
Yeah, none of them heard you. We did establish that.
Okay.
By some miracle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, shall we just fire the missile?
Well, you're going to within 2 seconds when I fail my first roll.
I crouched down.
Can these two ready an attack while I wander in, so that if it immediately goes tits up, they can just start firing?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want to.
I mean,
So
I'm
to
expecting
fire
it
the
to go
cannon,
south, so
normally takes 3 actions, and those actions are, if I can find it again. No, that one. There we go. Where is it? Where the fuck did it go? That one. So yes, it normally takes 3 actions. One of them is to load it and aim it. One is to load, one is to aim, and then the third is to actually fire.
So if me
I'm
and
going to
Malk-
assume if you load it, then you can aim. I'm going to let you aim and fire it as one action, as it appears to be quite small. It's not a massive cannon, so it doesn't take a huge amount of aiming.
So me and Malk will get this thing ready to and aim it at a guy, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If you're doing it outside of combat, then I'll just assume that you're like preparing it as Dalton does his due.
If you can aim it at the guy I end up talking closest to, just like blow his head off.
Well, what if we hit you in the back?
I'll be fine. I'm Dalton Sebastian Belvedere Grey.
Maybe the next closest guy.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe if you just take one of them out, it will scare them all shitless or something. Okay.
Yeah.
I wander down the path. Yes. As I'm being official, I'm not going to just come out of a bush. I make my way around, and I step out into the clearing. Hello, boys!
Okay. As you step out, obviously one of the guards calls for you to halt, and begins approaching. The others all look at you, and whilst you're being engaged by one of them, the others tend to sort of go back to what they're doing, although they keep glancing over to check things are going okay.
My good man, how are you today in this fine weather?
The fellow looks at you with a sort of a quizzical look, like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Well, I'm the inspector. I've been sent to make sure that you're on schedule, because I've been hearing that you're falling behind, and we have schedules to maintain. I'm here to inspect. I'm here to make sure you're on task. And quite frankly, if that weirdo over there with a peg leg and the one eye looks at me funny one more time, he's going straight back on the ship.
I don't know where you've heard that we're falling behind. We're cracking right on ahead.
Well, you may be doing well, but the schedule's been ramped up yet again, as you know it always does. So, the more demand, the more people like me come down to make sure you're doing your jobs properly.
And at this point, I will have you do a deception check, please.
Oh, deception, you look.
Why does this always happen? Oh, gosh.
Not again.
As I assume the cannon's sort of to one side of, not aiming directly at him from behind.
Say again.
I'm just gonna try and fan out away. Now the cannon's sort of set. I'm gonna move away, sort of move around a bit, you know.
So you're going to go and circle the encampment a bit.
Yeah. Do you want me
Okay.
to do a stealth check?
Yes, as you're going around, you're obviously passing close to guards. How far around do you want to go?
Just sort of to the, I don't know, let's say the left of Malk.
It's not too far then.
I don't know how far I can move. Let's say 20 feet or something.
Okay. Yeah, so if you do a stealth check for me.
Hopefully Dalton's talking really loudly.
Yeah, I'm causing a nice distraction. Maybe he has advantage.
Yeah, so luckily you wander through without the local guard hearing you at all. 'Cause he's too busy chatting to some ponce dressed as a fucking idiot. Who keeps saying things about his letters for fucking Birmingham.
Hey,
The guard is
he's
totally
interesting.
the guard being pretty thick is totally totally enraptured with your stories, and he gruffly agrees that these they always ramp up production. Well, if it'll get you off our backs, then follow me. And he calls the other guards to let them know that he's taking you inside and to keep an eye out for any ne'er-do-wells or untoward people.
Excellent. I'm glad that we can crack on so smoothly. I have a few things coming down the path. They won't be too long. Could you send one or two of your boys to help my men out for me, please? Just one or two of them will do. Just send them down there. Some large cases of extra equipment for you are coming in.
I suppose we can do. And he calls over two of the other guards who sort of have a bit of a grumpy moment, disagree with the fella, and eventually relent and finally start heading into the jungle to down the path to go and help out with your friends.
Excellent. So that they'll hopefully wander for a good while before they realise that no one's coming from that particular direction.
So you're led into the cave, and it's quite a sharp sort of downward slope to start with. Although, and there's not a lot of light really. You're going under the rock. It's relatively soily, and there's not a lot of other rock in the area at the moment. It just seems to be a very large piece of slab of rock was above you. But as you go further and further, you start to see a faint glow in the walls. Looks like someone's been cultivating a glowing fungus on the walls down here, in place of using lanterns and the like.
Ah, nice.
And all the time that you're going down, slowly the soil gets replaced with stone. And the tunnel starts to get a bit smaller, having to hunch down a little bit as you go deeper and deeper. Every now and again you pass an opening that seems to be dug in rather than a natural opening. And the further in you go, the louder and more oppressive the sounds of industry are. It's almost ringing in your head now, to the point where it's almost giving you a headache.
Luckily, I took some paracetamol before I came down.
And finally, the guard leads you into a massive underground cavern. We're easily talking 100 meters across in any direction, and you're currently stood up on you're above the cavern on a what's the word?
Mezzanine?
A gallery. Or mezzanine. A gallery that circles the entirety of this cavern. This one is natural, but it looks like it's then been converted and expanded. And down on the bottom floor, you can see dozens and dozens of kobolds working at workbenches, small forges. And it seems to be that there's from one side of the cavern, there's a row of forges and a row of workstations, and then more workstations all the way to the far end. And behind, moving back and forth between the rows are human guards patrolling back and forth. I'd like you to take a perception check for me, please, Dalton.
Ugh.
Okay.
7.
So you kind of just glance down into the area, although, really you should be really taking a good look. And the only thing you can really notice other than what you've already seen, all of the kobolds seem to be malnourished. They're wearing rags, and every now and again, as one of them sort of looks up to take in, the fact that there's a visitor, really, one of the human guards passing by, smashes him on the back of the head with a wooden club until he gets back down to work. Yeah.
Any trouble with the workforce, I say?
Well, the guard sort of huffs and shrugs his shoulders and goes, well, no more than usual. The little fuckers don't like being down here, but, well, doesn't matter what they want, is it?
No, quite. Tell me, what are your numbers for today? Do you know them? This guy might not even be fucking in charge. He's probably just a guard giving me a tour, to be fair. There's probably a head honcho somewhere.
Yeah, well, he pretty much says as much. He just works here as a guard. He's not really into the whole numbers thing. He can't even really count past 10. That's using both his feet and his hands.
Fair enough.
And he says if you want to get more information, then you should talk to the boss. He's out at the moment, but I'm sure he'll be back in a few days.
That's a shame that our schedules didn't meet up. Tell me.
Yeah, I mean, normally they send you guys with him. They come along with him, to be fair. More often than not.
You know how it is. You've got to have surprise inspections to make sure that things truly are on schedule these days, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
tell me.
he leads you.
Oh.
Go on.
I was going to say, where's his office?
I can lead you there. He continues the tour, going around the mezzanine / gallery at the top of the location. Would you do another perception check for me as you sort of rotate around the gallery?
18.
Okay. So as you've walked around and led about, the guard also starts pointing things out to you. Although he's not exactly the most brilliant of guides, he just sort of says, this is where we take the kobolds for their daily beatings. This is where we feed them, that sort of thing. But you notice that each of the each row or each column of the sort of grid pattern that's below you, where each row was a particular process. So the forges, then workshops, workbenches, etc. Each column seems to be doing something different. So one column appears to be making the large barrels that you now recognize as the cannon barrel. Another column appears to be making much smaller ones. Other columns are making just sort of regular material, so nails, screws, that sort of thing for the bases. And every now and again, you kind of spot a bit of a weird column that you can't think what they might be making. It's not a process that you've ever seen before. It's also one that I haven't thought up yet. But they are they are very much different to what you're used to. It almost seems to be some sort of mystic art of some description.
Well, I'm sure I could wander over closer if I needed to. Yeah.
Possibly. You might have to do that next week when I've figured it out.
Okay.
If I remember that you're going to do that.
So these two guards he's sent out into the jungle.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What about them?
I get Malk's attention through a series of bird calls and hand gestures.
I'm good with bird calls. We've established that from another episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And sort of make a should we murder them gesture.
I'm still aware of my 5 HP.
No, we had a long rest. You're full.
Yeah, your back's full.
Yeah, you healed.
Yeah, no, damn right we do. I give him the eye, I give him the ugly fist, and I hide.
Okay. So I, through a complicated series of gestures, say that we should wait until they walk just past and then attack at the same time.
I get it first time round immediately. And if I remember correctly, you went towards the left didn't you, by the cave
Yeah.
entrance? I'll go towards
Well,
the right, so we're in symmetry.
Yes.
Okie dokie.
God, I bet that Dalton guy's missing out on this shit.
So the two guards continue along, and eventually they pass your locations, and continue onwards. Really, they're heading down the pathway that was between you, and hoping to. Well, I say hoping to. To be fair, they're hoping that they don't find anyone to help out. So they'd rather not have to carry heavy boxes.
Okay.
Well, as they walk past,
I think I should jump in first because I'll be going from melee, whereas you'll be doing it from distance. There's an element of tankiness to me as opposed to a man in a dress. So I equip my dart. No, I go in and I would like to have a good old stab at the shorter one. You can decide which one is shorter.
Okie dokie. In that case, we will roll for initiative. And
Would we not have initiative? Hence, we were like.
Well, you'll get the first strike regardless. You'll each get the first strike on your respective guards. But then, if you don't happen to kill them, you'll be going on to the fight.
19.
Sit down.
Jesus, a 20.
Yeah, no, that's the best one Malk's rolled all night.
Critical success.
You managed to do a critical success on a initiative check.
I'm so ready. I was ready for this
Congratulations.
like 10 minutes ago. I'm so ready. We got this.
So, let me just find the page I'm looking for. Don't want priests. Don't want that. Don't want that. There we go. Okay. So, Brother Malk, take your pick and do the do.
Well, I've already taken my pick. It's the short one.
Right.
And I will use my... I'll still use my old short sword I got, because I like that. The finesse is better than the quarterstaff, which I've previously found. But
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I get to do my extra action, don't I, if I use finesse?
Give me a second.
Either way, that sword I got was 1d6 plus 3.
Why was it 1d6 plus 3?
That's what it was. It was 1d6 plus 2, but it had something special about it, which made it plus 3.
Well, that's a comprehensive, well-argued point.
Yes.
What do you mean? Why has it got plus 3? It just does. Fuck off.
I can't remember why. It was like the first episode. No, not first episode.
Why being
The
a big
first
bozo?
bit
Of
of
course it's got
adventure.
plus 3 on it, you cretin. Bloody DM, idiot.
What are you using?
A short sword.
You're a monk, are you not?
Yep.
Right. A quarterstaff is a monk weapon. Any monk feature that requires a monk weapon will work with the quarterstaff. It's essentially you can do your flurry of blows and all those fancy attacks with a
I
quarterstaff.
was unaware of that. Alright. What was the quarterstaff stats? I should probably write it down.
It's 1d6, but it's plus 1, so it's exactly the same as your sword. But
However,
go on.
quarterstaff is a versatile weapon. So if you use
Yeah.
you can use it with 2 hands, making it a 1d8.
Yes.
Alright.
And it's still a monk weapon, whether it's one-handed or two-handed.
So would it be 1d8 plus 3?
Yes.
I can write that down. That's simple enough for me.
If you're using both hands.
Alright. Then I will attack with both hands with my new spinny stick. I just nearly rolled a d20. What am I doing?
Well, you have to roll a d20 first to hit.
Of course, because we did initiative first. Oh man, that really was a waste of a roll, wasn't it? Fuck's sake.
Okay. Does that include your +1?
Yes. Oh no, it doesn't. But I don't need it. If that's all
doesn't
right.
really. Yeah. You don't need it, thankfully. Hang on, let me get back to that page and that page. Okay. So now do your damage.
So spinny stick slap thing. That.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of health do they have? Do they stumble? Do they look injured?
I mean, he's pretty dazed. You've managed to hit him on the side of the head with your new spinny quarterstaff.
Right.
He's still alive, but he's looking a bit dazed, a bit confused. He's not quite sure what's going on.
Right. Then I
hang on a second. You're going to do your follow-up attack. Sorry.
I'm going to go straight. Going to punch him in the head as well. Because if he's looking a bit dazed, let's make him a little bit more dazed.
Concuss him.
Okay. And as you punch him in the face, you manage to catch him right on the soft spot at the front of his nose, and shunt that little piece of bone straight into his brain, and he dies.
Don't shout too loudly, fucking.
Yeah. Now all the other guards hear you and run into the jungle. Okay. So, Nagash,
Hello.
would you care to do the do?
So I extend my bony fingers, send
Your
out
bones.
a sickening greenish ray of energy towards
Okay.
the taller guard who's not dead.
I attacked the live one.
That's right. 16.
Okay. So you've hit him with your sickening greenish hand.
And I do 11 damage.
And he collapses to the floor as if the very life has been sucked out of him.
And I regain 3 hit points.
I mean, you're at full health, but okay.
Yeah.
Okie. So, you have successfully solved my guard puzzle.
I assume we cut back to Dalton.
Yeah, there's only 3 more guards left, but they're all just standing around. But yes, and we do a side wipe to Dalton in the caves.
I hope by this point, my good friend, the guard, who has told me his name is Derek, has taken me.
Fucking Derek.
Taken me to the office area.
By this point, he has indeed taken you to the orifice.
So that
he leaves you to that side.
So that I can look over some books, make sure that everything adds up. No one's dipping their greedy little fingers in there, I say.
Okay. So he does indeed set you off in the office. Although because he's still a guard, he stands nearby to make sure you're not, like, I don't know, also dipping in.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that, I say to him. No worries at all. And I start to scour through the books.
Okay. Would you like to do an investigation check for me?
I'd bloody love to. Fuck sake!
You look at the paperwork and see lots of columns of numbers.
I need to...
Well done. So that's all I can say. Well done, buddy. Okay, I'll throw you a bit of a bone. Essentially, you've come across like the ledgers of the whole operation, more or less. Well, at least the operation out here at this particular location.
Yeah.
And it's got a bit more information than the clipboard you found previously. Not that you ever read it, really.
No.
But it's got the lists of where materials are coming in from, and it appears to be like a number of mines dotted around the region.
Did it include
Most of them,
the one we originally started in?
It did at one point. You can see that the column with the name of that mine did indeed have some listings in, although the listings very suddenly stop about halfway through the page that you happen to have, which gives you a kind of an indication of when the kobolds invaded.
Yeah.
As you go over the documents, you find lists of location. As I said, lists of location was where things are coming in from, and that includes materials, food and supplies, and you're not sure, but one of the influxes, or one of the incoming supplies is listed off as labor.
And
that one
coming in.
Yeah, that particular one appears to be coming from an unnamed location. It's just listed as labor plus etc. plus numbers. And every now and again in that column you see minus numbers as well. It never really goes into detail of what these minus numbers are, apart from that there are minuses. Perhaps with further better investigation you might find out where this labor's going, but we'll have to find out next week on Dragon Ball Z.
Well, okay then. Let's call it there, I guess.
Well, it's 10 o'clock.
As I scour through books, as Nagash and Malk return to the clearing to hopefully disperse with a few more guards. Don't really know when we're going to be playing again. It might be next week on a one-on-one. Nagash could get lost for a week. And Malk can come in, save the day. I don't know. We'll figure out something. However, thank you for everyone who's been lurking in the chat. Thanks for listening and stuff. Much appreciato as always. Yeah, we'll be back at some point randomly. You know us. We don't have a proper schedule. Say goodbye, guys.
Goodbye.
See you later, guys.
Excellent. Well done, everybody. You almost said goodbye on schedule. Thanks again for listening, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
We'll be back eventually. Wreckfest tomorrow from 6 if you want to watch Wreckfest as well. So, toodaloo and bye.